It's your girl, Mina Mendoza, little girl, big personality, queen of spice. Period. We here. It's Thursday. We live. We're here consistently. I definitely want to give a quick shout out to Hidden Gems. Shout out to Professor Knox. Just as a reminder, Hidden Gems Part 3 is going to be coming to you. Just definitely check him out on his Instagram, Professor Knox on IG. He's going to be definitely giving the updates, but we definitely got the approval for Hidden Gems Part 3. So, you know, if you haven't been to one of our events, it's pretty amazing. Basically, it's a way for other artists to collaborate with one another, whether you're a rapper, beat maker, singer, you perform, you get to collaborate with each other. People have freestyled with one another, and it's a beautiful time. It's a beautiful time. This one, though, is not going to be in upstate New York. However, it's going to be one closer than you think. I don't want to give too much of the details, but just know that Professor Knox is going to be coming out with more information, so please be sure to follow his Instagram, and I'll also be reposting any information I get in the meantime. So, what other shout-outs do I have? Also, Bravery Studios is having a Galentine's event. Definitely check out Bravery Studios for that. The Galentine's event is going to have a way to podcast with one another, collaborate, network. It's all about women empowerment. It's a Galentine's event, so please get your tickets for that.
Let's kick it.
Yes, period. You can find out more information. Go on Bravery Studios on Instagram. But again, February is literally like right around the corner, so make sure you grab your tickets for that. And yeah. So we got Galentine's, we got Hidden Gems Part 3. I'm trying to think. I feel like there's other events and things that are just in general happening. Oh, actually, yeah. I'm going to be going through to an event that I actually got invited to yesterday. Shout out to Toast. Also, shout out to Alchemist. They just had a beautiful event in January or December, but it was called the Bud Tenders Ball. And I unfortunately did not go. However, I was able to catch clips of it. It really looks so dope. Shout out to Toast. Toast was a past guest of mine. Such an amazing human being. He was crowned, I believe, influencer or stoner. I apologize for not getting the role right of the year. But shout out to Toast. Like networker in that realm. But one thing I know about Toast is definitely someone that brings people together. He invited me and Marv to an event, and I forgot where it was. I think it's the lobby, but the way they transformed that back area was honestly amazing. They had like different vendors, they had food. Everybody was just smoking, having a good time. Nobody was ODing. They had like balloons that dropped from the ceiling. It was such an amazing time. So shout out to you, Toast. You're doing really great things in the lettuce community. But I want to talk about this event. It's called the Haiti Resources Debut Experience. So it's called Garden Greens. It's going to be at Evolution Bar February 13th from 7 to 11 p.m. It's going to be in Denville, New Jersey. So it's going to be a little bit of a drive. It's going to be an elevated experience too. So make sure that you are comfortable being in that type of environment. But it's 6 to 10 p.m. The location is going to be the Smoking Goat in Denville. Definitely, if you're interested, hit up Toast. Toast is definitely going to be there. It's also sponsored by Garden Greens, Highly Elevated, and also HR. So, again, Garden Greens, Haiti Resources Debut Experience. Definitely check that out, February 13th. Mina Mendoza will be there. All right. Anyways, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce my very special spicy guest of the day. This is an amazing person. I got to meet her back in October, so it's really happy to have her here in the studio in person. But without any further ado, shout out to Ashley. Hi, Ashley. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. One thing that I do, babe, just to kind of like get the icebreakers out the way, I like to ask questions that you don't think you're going to get asked. So, just for the audience out there to get to know you in like, a more fun, intimate way, what did Ashley have for breakfast today?
I don't think Ashley had breakfast
Oh,
today.
no. It's okay.
Ashley had coffee.
Fair. Okay, what did Ashley have for lunch today?
Ashley had turkey bacon and egg whites.
Okay, period. Turkey, bacon, and egg whites on like bread or just by itself?
Just by itself.
Oh my God, no
Yeah.
carbs?
No, no carbs.
Oh,
I'm trying. I'm
she's
like back
so
in the gym. I'm
strong.
trying.
She's so
I
strong.
fall off after like the holidays, but I'm trying to get back on.
When's the longest you ever been not eating like carbs?
Honestly, I would say probably last November, I started taking the gym more seriously. I had an injury, so I was kind of out of pole for a little bit. So I kind of got on that kick. And that was really the first time I ever like paid attention to like my diet and what I was having. So I would say that time I had some carbs, but it was very limited. And that was maybe like 4 to 6 months of like consistent like bodybuilding type training.
Good for you,
and then I went
Ashley.
to Paris and it all went out the window.
Yeah, how can you not have the croissants? Not having a croissant in Paris is diabolical.
Yeah.
Diabolical.
It was good. It was worth it.
Okay. So let me ask you, Ashley, take us back to 2010, right?
Yeah.
What was it about that Vegas show that pulled you into the pole?
I think I was always like attracted to pole in one way or another. It wasn't the very first time I had seen it, like videos and things like that.
Okay.
But it was the first time I'd ever seen it in person.
Okay.
And I think I always had like a curiosity about it. And it was just like a regular nightclub, and they did a pole show and an aerial show, which for anyone who knows like what pole and aerial is, like off the ground, aerial hoop, things like that, aerial silks, hammocks. This was like an aerial umbrella. So it's a hanging umbrella.
It's wicked.
And yeah, and this girl is just doing, you know, all these things. And I was just completely like, I don't know what that is, but I need to do it.
Oh my
and,
God.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
like, I need to try it as soon as I get home.
So this is back in 2010.
Yeah, I went for my friend's 21st birthday, and who would have thought? What if I had missed that trip?
So this is where I want to fast forward a bit. In 2018, you said the pole finally clicked.
Yeah.
What? 2010, 2018. That's
Yeah.
8 years apart. So would you say in 2010 you were like interested, but 2018 was
So in 2010, after I had seen that show,
Okay.
So if I can dive into the story,
yeah.
I booked. It was actually kind of hard at that time to find like pole studios and classes. It's still kind of like taboo in a way, but they are popping up more and more places. But at the time, like you had to like dig on Groupon to try and find something.
Okay.
And I found a studio in Morristown. It's not there anymore, but at the time it was there. And I booked a class for me and my sister, and I posed it as like a gift for her birthday.
Okay.
I was like, you know, I just want to try it. She's gonna come. We'll have fun. We went. She hated it.
Your sister's like,
it.
Ashley, her shenanigans, yo, making me do crazy shit.
She hated it.
Okay.
But I loved it.
Yeah.
And I think like knowing what I know now about pole at the time, it was a little more of like a loose outlined class. It wasn't like as structured as like classes are now.
Okay.
But I went in and I'm just like, we're jumping around and doing things. And like the next day I felt like I got hit by a truck. And I was like, I did some really cool stuff and I worked out. Like, this is great. So I started going, but because that was the only studio I knew of and it was so far from my house, after like a few months, it just became hard to get there. So it kind of fizzled out a little bit.
Okay.
And then I would kind of go here and there, like over time, but no like consistent training.
Okay.
And then in 2018, there was a studio closer to me that I was actually able to attend consistently.
Yeah.
And then that's where it just kind of like
Clicked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that time lapse makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking about it in 2010, like back in that time, like I feel like pole dancing, like as like because it's always been there, but in a sense of taking a class, you know, I don't think it was that visible. Like it wasn't a visible thing for people.
No.
And like you said, it was something considered taboo.
Yeah.
And like, and I'm like, no, she's absolutely right. Like that was either somebody doing a class, experimenting, trying out a class. You know, it was very like in its, I guess, beta stage.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like what you said, like we're still in a beta kind of stage, but it is better than what it was before.
I think people now are like, people are becoming a little more open-minded to it, and a little more open to like trying new things.
Yeah.
And I think because like it's getting to the point, I think.
I mean,
where,
we
like,
got people doing yoga with goats. I'm like, yo, we're living in a crazy time right now.
Anything's possible, honestly.
That part.
But yeah, I think people are becoming like a little more willing, and because it's becoming more popular, they're more curious.
Yes.
So, I have like clients from, 15 to my oldest client was 72. So I think everyone's starting to see it a little more and just open to giving it like the benefit of the doubt. Like maybe there's a little more to it than the stigma that's behind it.
Yeah.
And I think speaking from someone like who does pole personally, like me and everyone else are just kind of like, we're going to keep posting, we're going to keep doing it, and you're going to like it or look the other way.
That part. I also see that. Also, I see love. We have a little bit of love in the check-in. My blind ass cannot. I see love, but I'm like, I don't know what they're saying. So let me go ahead and see what our friend is saying here in the check-in. Who do we have in the check-in right now? All right, let's see. So we got the gem of gems. That's my sister. She's so pretty. Is this the sister you got the Groupon for?
Yes.
I'm crying.
She did the first class.
I'm crying.
My very
first class.
I love my teacher.
I love that. All right, love. So, be honest. How many outfits did you try on before your first pole class?
You know what's funny? My first pole class,
Yeah.
I think I was so nervous. Actually, the first one I went with her, we kind of just went in I think we just went in shorts and tank tops.
Okay.
But I didn't put much thought into it at that time because it was new.
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
was
yeah.
just kind of this studio at the time I think was more geared towards aerial things,
Okay.
Silks and hammocks. So
Yeah.
I don't remember putting too much thought into the outfit, but fast forward when I started going again, I put a lot of thought into it, and then would still I was a little intimidating at first,
Yeah.
And I think I was more comfortable. My first outfit to what I wear now is night and day.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm crying.
Shorts, more of a shirt or a sports bra, and now it's bikini,
Yeah.
cheeky thongy type bottoms. But anyone who does pole knows skin contact is your best friend. You
Yeah,
need
'cause it
that. So
grips.
So you need that exposure.
That part.
So we like to look cute, but we need it.
Okay. What move humbled you the fastest?
From day one, I think at every level of pole, something humbled me. So from the door, it was the climb. I felt like I was strong in my upper body, but I just couldn't grasp, my legs couldn't figure out what to do.
Yeah.
And then it was outside leg hangs. I remember I was going to class and I just couldn't get it. I was the only one that couldn't get it. And I was that's it. I'm not going back. I'm ordering a pole at home and I'm not going until I get it. And
Okay.
I did just that. And it was literally over and over. And then I would say probably to date, my nemesis moves are definitely, and if any of my students or anybody who knows me is watching, are elbow Aishas and laybacks.
Elbow
I hate
Aishas.
them.
Okay.
I let them know every time when I teach it. I don't like them.
Oh.
They're still a struggle, but they happen. They
Okay.
happen.
Okay. We also got Steph in the building. Shout out to Steph, King of Skin. She's like, I love pole. Yeah, she actually does. When I told her, so something I didn't mention, friends, is I took a class with Ashley. I took my first pole class. It was exciting, and it's true. You are using so much muscles that you do walk out of there sore. It's not easy. And it was definitely a big eye-opener, but I told my friend Steph about it, that I went to your class, and she also saw it because I posted it on my Instagram. Also check out, I made a reel, so definitely come check out the class. But when I told her, she was like, oh my God, I did it too, da-da-da. So yeah, Steph loves the pole.
Good.
Steph loves the pole.
I feel like everybody who tries pole loves it.
Yeah.
For one reason or another. Whether it's the fitness aspect, whether it's the empowering aspect, to feel good about yourself, to just get away from your spouse and kids, whatever it is, everybody has a reason that they go and they love it.
I love that. All right, going back to your bio, my love. So what did your background in banking shape how you run? And just to make sure I'm pronouncing it correctly, love, it's CLAQ HAUS?
CLAQ HAUS.
CLAQ.
Heel clacks.
I always wanted to know how you say it. Because I would see it, I'm like, CLAQ. Okay.
CLAQ.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah.
All right. So how did your background in banking shape how you run CLAQ HAUS today? CLAQ House.
Yeah.
CLAQ House.
I think, honestly, if there's like one takeaway I have from the bank, which I hate to say because that, I started that job like when I was 17 going on 18. I was there for almost 10 years. So it was a big part of my life. But I would say what it did for me the most is realize like that's not the job for me.
Okay.
And
that's fair.
I'm not it's not to take away from the job, but for me, like I feel like I like meeting new people. I like new things every day. Like I like interacting with people, different people, challenging things, moving around. So like a desk job isn't necessarily for me.
Yeah.
It did give me some background information on like the finance aspect.
Okay.
So at least I had like a little bit of like general knowledge with that going into it. And I've also, when I was at the bank, when we did mergers, I helped with like auditing some things. So like things like that kind of tie into like back office end of things. But the biggest takeaway was definitely like, this might not be for me long term.
And that's honestly admirable, love, to like admit, because like, a lot of people sometimes like do it for a year and they're like, this isn't for me. But you were there for like a decade. You tried it. You tried.
I did.
And I'm sure you probably went up the ladder too.
I
Like
did.
you try different avenues, and it's just like sometimes it's just like I don't want to do this no more.
I liked it. I felt like it became very sales oriented, which was also like a pro and con because I like talking to people, but I feel like I'm not as passionate about like banking as I am at pole. So it's a lot easier to essentially like get someone to take a class when I'm talking about something that like I really enjoy and like care about and believe in. So the banking I feel like was a stepping stone in my life that I kind of got into that more so because I had my son, I needed stability, and at the time I was very like I need to provide and I just needed stability. And after that time I was like, I don't want to spend the rest of my life kind of just showing up and clocking out every day being unhappy.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Okay. Shout out to Ashley. She's like, I'm getting out of this vault. No more deposits. No more. All right, love. So thank you for sharing that, by the way. Let's get funny. Let's get funny. Have you ever said this will be easy and immediately regretted it?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a story you could share?
I feel like I say that a lot as an instructor in the class setting. I wouldn't, you know what? I think when I first started teaching pole, I didn't necessarily think it would be simple, but I'm like, oh, I enjoy this. Like, I can do this, and didn't necessarily realize like all the time and preparation that came in behind it. Mm-hmm. So immediately kind of like ate those words like, oh, like my practice now becomes my class prep. Yeah. So it was a little more involved than I had initially thought. Yeah. But I say that in class as an instructor, like, this will be easy. And I'm like, no, it's not. We're going to challenge them a little bit. So
I got to ask, love, I feel like with the pole, at least from what I remember, there is a lot of gripping involved. Mm-hmm. Strength, I feel like, with your upper arms, depending on certain moves. Yeah. Do you feel like, is there a disability, like, okay, can you do pole if you have a sprained ankle? Like, what are limitations that you as an instructor, love, that you would tell somebody, like, sorry, you can't?
So as an instructor, and, especially now being like a studio owner, safety and liability is like, a big component. So to speak from that aspect, like if someone has a visible injury, like a fresh injury, like an open wound, things like that, like I would not recommend it. However, if I'm talking as like myself, like I have pulled with a sprained ankle because I know my body's limitations.
Ashley don't care. Yeah. She's like, whoa!
I do it within reason and I do it safely, but I do think that like with pole, especially like I've been doing it a long time, and over the years, like there's just some like aches and pains and injuries that just don't go away completely. So you kind of learn to work around them. So I think it's like, if it's like, you broke something, you should probably not come to class. Facts. But if it's like, you had a previous injury and you rehab it and you kind of know like your limits, like if you're comfortable, I'm comfortable. But I always ask ahead of time, like any injuries, anything I need to be aware of. Because we do have, women who are pregnant, people who have had, surgeries, things like that. And it's kind of like a case by case thing. It really depends. But I also believe in like people know their own limitations. I don't want to tell someone no off the bat until I have that conversation and find out like what exactly we're working with.
Got you. And that's fair. Because I was thinking about it when I was thinking of this question. I'm like, what are limitations? Like, because you don't want to tell someone to get off the pole either. But like, you also want people to be safe.
Yeah, and I think that's what we drive, like as instructors and as a studio owner too. Like I mentioned earlier, my one of my older students that I had was 72, and she was great. I loved her.
That's
she came
awesome.
In, she gave herself a stage name. Like
what's her stage name?
Brown Sugar.
Yo, I'm crying. 72-year-old Brown Sugar on the pole.
I love her.
Getting crazy.
She knows also too. Like she's realistic. Like she does what she can. We always support and spot the students and stuff. But again, it's just like we drive the safety thing. And the one thing about pole, like that I always emphasize, especially about the studio, is like there's something for everybody and everybody. So you can do floor, you can do chair, you can do things, on top of the pole, you can do aerial. Like there's a place for everybody.
Yeah.
But everyone just also has to communicate with us, like, again, if there's something wrong, if there's something injured.
Yeah,
like as long as we know, we can work around it. I tell someone if it hurts, like, don't do it. Yeah. There's a modification, there's, something else to try, rather than make like something worse. So there's a lot of options. Okay. And we try to really make it accessible to everybody. For everybody. Yeah.
Okay. We got a lot of love in the check-in right now.
Yay.
So shout out to the Gemma Jens is now here on IG. She's a jack of all trades. We also have Tri-State Entertainment. Yes. Shout out to E. We got him in the check-in. There's a lot of love. We got Eric. Is Sarah? Erica. Shout out to Erica. Let's go. Okay. Also, friends, anybody that's in the check-in, I love you, E. If y'all have a question that y'all would like me to ask Ashley, please drop the question in the chat, and I will ask it. Thank you.
Just know if it's crazy and you come to class.
I'm crying.
There will be payback.
She'll lock the door. I'm crying. All right, friends. So I'm going to keep these questions going, love. Okay. I feel like when it comes to the pole, love, like, I've seen a lot of different videos. Like, I think it's an art. It's an art. Yeah. And doing it myself, it definitely is. The coolest move I saw, I don't know what you call it, but it's like you hold yourself on the pole and then you like walk.
Like an airwalk.
That's what it's called, airwalk. I think that's so cool. It looks like some Michael Jackson shit.
It's so funny. It looks
so cool.
Like when we do, when someone does performances, like I'll speak for myself, airwalks get more like than like a hard trick I've been working on for years. So sometimes I have to like backpedal and just say like I do these crazy things and like we always want to showcase like flexibility or like these hard things that we do, but things like that are what people like always go crazy for. Yeah, it's really, and it does take a lot. Like it's really hard. I mean, you came to a class, you know firsthand, like building the strength to even just be able to get up the pole, but then building the strength to be able to make it look like effortless is like a whole other 100%.
It looks like you're walking on an imaginary floor.
And that was like one of my first things, like when I was seeing pole and then getting into class, I'm like, every time I see something, I can do that. And then like, I cannot do that. In time I can, but like at the time of, it's so humbling, like over and over.
That's intense. That's my favorite move. I was like, whoa, that looks really cool. That looks really cool. She's like, yes, the airwalks always gets the most cheers. Okay. So I guess you don't have to say any names of. Have you ever seen anyone just get hurt because they weren't supposed to do something they were supposed to do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I have seen, honestly, I myself have gotten hurt.
Okay.
Not necessarily doing something I shouldn't do, but I think the biggest oversight, like for myself, is I'm doing something, and if something's going off saying like, this isn't it, get out of it, I'm like, well, I could probably do it. And that every time it backfired and I got hurt. God. And I've seen it happen, and I think what happens sometimes, so not saying names, like a friend of mine had taken a class and she didn't like a particular move, but they were doing it in class and she's like, I don't normally like it, but like, she did it and she ended up she fell and she broke something.
Oh
So
my
it's
God.
like, it happens. Unfortunately, like it comes with the territory.
Yeah,
You know,
fair.
I've sprained my ankle, I've sprained my rib, my wrist, like I've heard a lot of things. And that's why, like I said, like there's some injuries that I just learned to work around. So when I first started,
it's
I feel
unavoidable.
like,
Yeah.
And it's just the more, also too, I feel like when I first started years ago,
Yeah.
there was no real emphasis on like taking care of your body properly and like the fitness aspect of it. Like it was pole fitness and they taught it, but we didn't talk about muscles being engaged. It was just kind of like get into this move and do this. So I think over time I just kind of drove myself to get the tricks. And then all of a sudden, like I'm going to class for, 3-4 hours, drinking water and eating like Taco Bell after. And then like, that's the day. And then I'm like, wait, why is my body falling apart? Like now I take it a little more like, I've learned since then. And there's definitely more, when you speak about pole fitness now, there's definitely more ties to like, proper, nutrition, diets, and just like overall like well-being and like taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
So there is some, I forget how I even got there, but
Okay.
yeah.
It's okay. We talked about sprained ankles and ribs and all that.
So I feel like when I started, like physically I was at like 100% and like it's only down from there, but I know like where I am now and how to work around it.
Yeah. What's a video I encountered? I don't know if y'all remember this video. This is a little bit of an old school video, but I think it came out like a decade ago. But there was a video that I remember went viral, and it was in Atlanta. Like I've heard of like the clubs in Atlanta, like the way those dancers do things. Like they take the pole and like I feel like when I went to the pole class, it was like average, like of what it should be. This thing was 20 feet high. 20 feet high.
I think I know a video.
The video where the girl fell. And then she kept moving. Like when she fell, this video is crazy. We're not gonna play this video.
No, but I follow her and she's back to doing shows. She's amazing.
But she fell really far.
Yeah. And she broke like I think she broke like her jaw. Like I remember her GoFundMe. Because there's no like I think that kind of brought up the whole subject of like insurance for dancers and things like that.
When I saw that fall, I was like,
but she twerked it out. She
did. She fell on the floor and started shaking her ass. I was like, oh my God. I was like, can someone call 911? Like
she's amazing. And like I followed her then, I follow her now, and she's like obviously well recovered. But she went like right back to, her shows and stuff, and she's great. But like that is the reality of it, and it's scary. Yeah. Because it can definitely
100%. It could have been worse.
Yeah.
She could have broke her neck. 100%. Okay, we do have a question, love. Okay. What's her nutrition? What is your nutrition?
So I love my sweets. I'm not even gonna lie. I love my cakes, my cookies. I love those things.
Okay. What's your favorite sweet? Like, what's your kryptonite?
Anything. I don't know. Like right now, the coffee shop by my studio has like these iced lemon loaf cakes, so probably that. But anything like pistachio crumb cakes, like they have all these little desserts. They're my kryptonite because they come out with all these little bakery things, and I'm like, but so nutrition, honestly, and sleep are the two things that I consistently need to put thought and effort into that I fail on. But I do find like, so when I started going to the gym last year, as I mentioned before, I had like a whole diet plan. And when I have like that structure, I do a lot better. So now that I'm back, I feel like I'm kind of following it better. And I try to, again, like I do have some carbs. I try to like limit it. And same thing with sweets, try not to go overboard. But I try to like, egg whites versus eggs, turkey bacon versus regular, like things like that. And I do have my moments where I'm just kind of like, I just want to eat what I want. Like, I just want to enjoy my meal. Yeah. But I try not to overindulge either. But, I'm female. Yeah. I have my time.
I'm just a girl.
Yeah, sometimes I'm just
a girl.
I just want to pig out. But I do try to be a little conscious. Same thing with like drinks. I really only have like, if I'm drinking anything, water. I definitely don't drink enough a day. But I don't do like soda. I don't do juice. If I do, I try to water it down.
Same. I do that too. I feel like when I drink juice straight up, I get more thirsty.
Yeah. It's very sugary sometimes too. So I try to like water it down just to, I don't know, reduce the sugar.
No, I get it, love. We do have a question from Tristate.Entertainment. They said, I have a question. Is she performing next Thursday?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're so my best friend, Sid, Shout out to Sid the
Shout
Vampire.
out to Sid the Vampire.
She's hosting a show at Dingbats in Clifton.
Oh,
It's
period.
Called
Okay.
Harvest from Hell. We did it one other time last July, and I think it's going to be reoccurring, maybe quarterly. I'm not really sure yet, but it is next Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't going to perform, but there was a few people that dropped out. She asked me to, so I'm in. I am not a rock girly, but I'm going to figure it out. So feel free to come out. There is, I think you can purchase tickets through online.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the CLAQ house.
And it's next Thursday?
Next Thursday, yeah.
So what does the show consist of?
So it's going to be a total, I think it's 9 to 10 performers, and we set up the stage poles, and we just do pole shows. We do our pole performances.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's a good lineup. There's a good number of students from CLAQ House, which is nice, and it's always good to see them kind of stepping out of their, you know, their elements and performing, getting in front of people. The crowd is usually, like, you get a lot of people who come out to see pole. It is, so the last time we did the show, that was my first time ever going to Dingbats. So I thought it was just like a regular bar that's open all the time, but I think it's more like as there's events.
Space,
yeah. So I didn't know that, but it's really nice that they have a stage. So there's going to be some performances, there's going to be drinks, there's going to be some cute clack girlies.
I love
it's going to be fun, yeah.
Okay. Make it through Thursday, next Thursday. You said at 7?
Honestly, I'm terrible. But
It's okay.
he'll know what time it is. Tell him to drop it in the
In
comments.
Dingbats and Clifton, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
period. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. Okay. All right. Let's keep the show going. Let's keep the show going. Okay. So we talked a little bit about certain moves, love, getting hurt. I guess. Do you feel like you feel more powerful now than what you felt before?
I think overall, yes. So
Okay.
I feel like when I first started, so this was what, 2010? This is, okay, I'm not going to tell my age here, but this was a while ago.
Okay.
And I feel like at the time I felt, like very limber, very strong. Things came easily. And I focused so much on like the physical aspect that it didn't take me until like some years into it to realize like it was actually really beneficial beyond just physical.
Yeah.
So I started it because it looked cool. You know, I wanted to do some cool things.
Yeah.
Then I tried it and I was like, wow, like this is actually really hard. And I'm like, well, I don't love the gym, but I do like being challenged, and, working in this way where it keeps me like mentally involved, where I have to think and just kind of, I don't know, the gym to me is a little repetitive, which is why like when I go now I have a trainer, so it's nice that like I have someone kind of keeping me structured there. Yeah. But for pole, it's like it's very mentally stimulating.
Okay.
So over time, like I found that I relied on pole beyond physical more of like in a therapeutic way. So I think overall I feel like stronger as a person, whereas in the beginning it was more for like the physical strength.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Understandable, love. So I guess, what's something you wish more women allowed themselves to feel?
Grace for themselves and love. I think pole taught me like a lot about myself. And when I first started, I remember feeling like I can't do certain things. I'm funny and goofy. I'm not like sexy like that. And it really just helped me like, I don't know. I feel like there was a person inside me that always wanted to come out that may have not ever found her way out had I not stumbled, into pole. And through that, I just became like trusting in myself, confident in myself. And with all like when you're learning pole, like it's not easy. So there's mistakes along the way. And I think just kind of like saying, all right, like this didn't happen today.
Yeah.
I don't suck. I don't need to throw in the towel. Like it's fine. I
take
have
it
my
too
days.
personal.
Yeah. There's some days that, I do great. And some days that I'm just like, all right, I'm tired today. So I think just like going easy on yourself.
Yeah.
I was talking to a friend of mine today, and we were talking about like, giving yourself grace and things like that. And, talking about, and I'm guilty of this too, but it's very easy when you're talking to someone else to, give advice. And it's like, if you would tell your friend, like, go easy on yourself, don't beat yourself up, like, you need to do that for yourself too. And believe me, I'm so guilty of that.
Take your own
But again,
advice.
it's easy to like speak that now. So just like giving yourself grace, just with everything. Life is hard. Nobody knows what we're doing. We're just winging it and figuring it out.
Okay. I gotta ask, what is Ashley's go-to songs?
Oh my God.
Like for yourself though.
100%.
Not teaching the class, like for yourself. This is
Okay.
like your own, I guess, like what's the word I'm looking for? Like your own like tailor-made like playlist of like, if this song comes on, I am the best pole dancer in the world.
My sister, if she's watching, is gonna chime in. So definitely Casa Fricos, Tory Lanez.
Okay. Period.
That's like sensual.
Okay.
R&B. Like I like a lot of Chris Brown too.
Okay.
Anything like that. I like very like slow, slinky flow.
Okay.
Which is funny because like it took me so long to find like my style in pole, which I think is like another thing that kind of gets overlooked. Like everyone gets into pole fitness. Like when you go to your first class, you're not even thinking about styles. You're just like,
No.
I'm just here. I want to learn how to get on this pole
Yeah.
and how to move around it.
Facts.
And then it's like over time, you know, you kind of develop your own style and taste. And I think one of the things that I really wanted to bring to CLAQ as a studio owner was being able to offer different styles and varieties through the instructors, so that like it wasn't just like a one size fits all. Like we don't just do this here, or like you know what I mean? There's kind of like different styles, and it's easy for everyone to kind of try out different things and say, okay, I like this, or oh, you know what, I don't know if I like this, let me try this.
Yeah.
Or every now and then, if you just want to switch it up, like everything's kind of in one place. But for me, I am like a slow flow.
More sensual.
Yeah.
Okay, I
all
love
day.
that. I love that. I feel like if I had a song, I feel like for me, I mean, I'm not a professional pole dancer, but if I were, it would be the Kendrick Lamar song, Pour Up, Drink.
Oh, okay.
I just feel like that song is so cool. And there was one time, I think, where was I? I feel like I was somewhere where somebody was pole dancing and that song came on. I was like, oh shit, she's going crazy. She's going crazy. Like
I did a show in New York. It's a pole and comedy show, and the theme that I did was Kendrick Lamar. I did Squabble Up.
Oh shit!
It was fun,
Okay,
it was fun.
where did you perform?
It was at Drome.
I don't think I've been there.
So the name of the show is Shtick It, and it's pole and comedy. So you have pole dancers and comedians. It's fun.
I love that.
Yeah, and I did it. I've done it a few times, but usually what they do is they'll reach out to you.
Okay.
You commit to the show, and then they let you know the theme. So I've done.
Yeah, I was like, how does it work together?
I've gotten it's actually really cool. Like it's great as like a date night thing to go out, and it's fun as a performer. It's actually like one of my favorite shows that I get invited to. I really like it, and I like it because they challenge me. I've done like I did Kendrick, and like I like rap, I like hip hop. I've done Beastie Boys, which I'm like not my, you know, Ramstein or Ramstein. I say it wrong every time. There's one of my students always corrects
the
me.
Du Haas guy?
Yeah.
I'm like crying, yo.
Yeah.
I'm like, Du Haas.
Yeah. I didn't even know it. It's so funny because like that one, I reached out to my friend. I'm like, what is this? And she knew because she's like, Du Haas. I'm like, I don't even know this.
That is funny.
But yeah, so I did Kendrick. I like that.
Okay.
I've done Busta Rhymes. It was fun. So that's a show where they more so choose their theme. I've also done shows where like it's you can apply. So if like this applies to me, like yeah, I want to do it. And if it's not really like something I vibe with, I don't. So
okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay. So we got, if anyone wants to see blooper videos of Ashley before she started, please message me. Yo, why are they coming for you like this?
It's
Like, yo, that's crazy.
She's such a hater.
Yo, okay. I love that. I love, keep it coming, guys. But we're being positive.
It's so funny because when I took my first class with her, with my sister, and she didn't like it. Fast forward, she does it now. She likes it now.
Oh,
Because
shit. Okay.
After we did like our first showcase at the studio, there were a couple performers that she saw, and she was like, she like appreciated it in like a whole new light. So it's nice to like moments like that. Like I feel like that's what we need more of. Like if people just come in and see it for themselves.
Yeah.
they might see it in a whole different light.
100%.
So.
Also, by the way, that wasn't your sister that said
Oh.
that. It was Tri-State Entertainment.
He's another hater.
Hold on, I just want to say that right away.
He's another hater.
Before you like go on say something about your sister that your sister did not set you up for. Okay, so we have fallen in public.
I probably definitely have.
What is your best way of, I guess, getting up from that? You just
falling?
get up and just keep going?
Yeah, so I tell this, like I say this to my intros a lot too, because intro is always a little intimidating. Everybody's nervous, nobody wants to mess up, and I feel like people come to class but they're not really ready to break out of that yet.
Yeah.
So I always tell them, like, when we're doing something, just own it, just have fun with it. Like if you fall or if you mess up, typically nobody knows unless you let them know. So if you look at them like, they're going to know. But if you just, like, twerk it out and keep moving, like, everyone's having fun with you.
Okay.
It happens. You know what I mean? Like, 100%. It's a sport, and things happen. But you just got to, the show's just got to keep going.
Yeah.
Cry about it later in the car. Just keep it going.
Okay. So, what legacy do you hope CLAQ House, right, love, leaves behind?
I just want it to be a place, like a home away from home. I just wanted to leave, the home feeling like when I found pole, I feel like I got into a pole class for a number of different reasons. I started it because I thought it looked cool. I went back into it because, I had kids at that point. I was working my job that I wasn't happy with, got out of that. I started bartending, in a strip club, and like, a lot of things just kind of drove me to it. And I feel like I found it when I was like looking for like a safe space.
Yeah.
And I found it there. And it's funny because it's like I had never before been like around so many supportive women. I think it was just like, I don't know. I did like a move one time and like I didn't even do it good, but like everybody cheered. And I was like, like I got like alarmed. But like that's how it is. And everybody's just so like empowering and uplifting, and there really needs to be more of that.
Yeah.
So I think if things can be said about CLAQ House, definitely that it provided like a safe space when you felt like you didn't know where to go, you didn't know what you needed, like you were able to find it there, whether it was in the space, the people you met, the dancing, whatever it was.
Yeah.
It was a place for you to go when you felt like I have nowhere to go.
I love that.
That's how I felt.
Yeah, shout out to Ashley. Shout out to my cousin Jolie. Jolie in the building. Shout out to you, cousin. I love this. A lot of love in the chat in today.
I love that.
So let me ask you this one, love. This one's a little bit more on the heavier side. How do you handle judgment from people who don't understand pole? Have you ever had a scenario? And you don't have to like say names.
Oh,
love.
I'm going to tell this story.
Yeah, but tell the story because there's people who are probably watching this. Like, we need to hear those like vulnerable stories.
Yeah.
Like, so tell us this story.
So, when I first started doing pole as like a hobby on the side, I remember like, I'd be a little reluctant to post everything on Instagram. At first I wanted to. Then I was like, well, my son, what are the other moms going to think? And then when I started teaching, I kind of had to like get past all that. So I had to make a decision, and I did. And it's funny because it's like at that point, everybody was like, wow, like you do pole? Like I want to come for a class. That's cool.
Yeah.
And, I didn't really have to deal with it beyond that. However, when I opened the studio and when I was, coming to the point to open the studio, I knew that if someone, if there was a case where there was judgment, like as the heartbeat behind CLAQ, like I have to defend it. And I tell this story. I've never told it like publicly this, but a lot of people know, but I'll tell it. So when I went to sign my lease at the studio, there was a woman outside, an older woman, and I went inside. And as I was walking in, I'm holding the door. And she was asking my landlord, she's like, oh, did you rent this place out? And he was like, yeah. And she started going off. We don't want pole dancers. We don't want strippers, all this stuff going off. And I'm just holding the door, like listening to this. And I was completely like taken back by it. And, he told her like, this is not the time and place. Like, this is my client, and she was someone of relevance, but not real relevance at the time. And, at that moment, it hit me that, like, this is the kind of stuff as an owner, like, you have to have the thick skin for it because this is going to happen. 100%. Whether it's in front of you, like, directly to you, behind your back, online, reviews, whatever. And, I was listening to her and I was just like, is this what it's going to be like?
Yeah.
You know? And I had like a second where I'm like, oh my God, like I'm really, I'm really committed to this, and I gotta stand by this. So I think, I didn't react to her. What actually ended up happening was, I went and introduced myself to her and spoke to her. So I think the best way to handle that, because I think sometimes the judgment and things like that just come from people not knowing.
Yeah.
It's usually lack of like knowledge on the subject or whatever it
100%.
is.
Like it's always a misunderstanding.
Yeah, and it's I feel like if you don't get to know me as a person and just kind of like take the little bits, it's not really fair. So I kind of, in that instance, I'm like, I'm just gonna kind of hit this like head on.
No,
Yeah,
let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop.
Invite her to take a class and stuff like that. And it's gonna happen. And one thing too, so my studio, CLAQ House, is in Maywood in Bergen County, and there was no other studios at the time. So I was a little, I was like, why? Why is there no pole studios here?
Yeah.
So I feel like when I first announced it, I kind of like posted it and like threw my phone away for 3 hours. So I was like, I don't even want to see the comments. But it was really good. It was a lot of positive feedback. And, I think that the people who do pass the judgment, like I have gotten emails, and it's not necessarily saying anything bad, but it's more curiosity. So I think it's just explaining it and just kind of not taking it personally.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just people don't know.
Yeah, and that's the
all
best
there
thing
is.
you could do. Just give them a little bit of knowledge. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, I don't know what you think I'm running here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what I'm running here is not what you think it is.
Yeah.
However, I invite you to a class.
Yeah. And we've done events like when we first opened like that grand
If you want me to take you to a strip club, I'll take you to a strip club and you'll see what that is. This is not a strip club.
We opened it up, the weekend that we opened, and we'll do it periodically too, where we let people, come in and just
like
kind
an
of
open
see
house?
the space. Yeah, just to see it for themselves. And it's open to everybody, and this studio, when I go back to saying like safe space, whether you're someone who, has never done pole a day in your life, whether you're a dancer at a club, whether you want to try something new, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care who you are. If you're curious, come in. Like, we want you there. There's a place for you there. It's open to everybody. So for the judgment, like, I feel like the reviews and like just the happy faces and pictures and videos kind of speak for itself. And I think that kind of overrides a lot of negativity and creates that curiosity. And then, people come in and they're like,
I
it's a lot of fun.
Imagine someone rolls up in like a motorized scooter. I want to try this.
Wait, you
had someone like that?
We have a student who, she has an electric bike. She has come from New York on it.
Really?
Yeah,
Wait,
love
how?
her.
Okay, now I got to ask you, Ashley. If she's on a motorized scooter,
Bike.
a bike.
Yeah.
Wait.
I think she charges it halfway. I don't remember.
No, girl, I'm talking about a disabled person.
Ooh.
Like an older
I thought
person,
you meant-
cuz
well,
no, sir. No, sir. We both were talking about two different things, girl. I'm over here thinking like,
I'm
no,
like, well, I've
a
seen
whole disabled scooter comes in. I guess what would be your route that if someone came in like a motorized disabled scooter, like, I want to take this class.
It would have to be realistic. So
Yeah.
it's again like it would really have to, we would have to know like what the person's limitations are. Like if you can't physically move, like we're a little limited in what we can do.
Yeah.
But we actually spoke with the senior citizen home in Maywood, and they wanted to do like a chair like yoga thing. So like we offer yoga at the studio. So like we have things like that are kind of like, it's an offering.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like it's a way of, and it's a class within the studio. It may not be, you climbing to the top, but it's still something offered. So I feel like in a case like that, it would really depend what the limitation is.
Yeah.
But we do, we do chair classes, and that's like a great alternative maybe for someone who's, still learning. Like we offer that for beginners while you're still learning to climb, just because it's like, if I can only do this class and I'm not quite there yet, like what else can I do? Flexibility, yoga, strength and conditioning classes we do. So there's a lot of different things to try.
I love that. I love how you keep it inclusive.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, love. Let's continue with the questions. So we talked about how we handle judgment, and we talked a little bit about what your pole vibe is more sensual. So I guess, has pole changed how you move through the world?
Yeah, it has.
Okay.
It definitely, like I mentioned, like it definitely did a lot for like my confidence, um, and like self-esteem, which I think definitely changes the way I present myself in the world. Because if anyone had told me X amount of years ago, like I would be here today, I'd be like, "There's no way. I'm not gonna own a pole studio. What are you,
Imagine
out of
you
your
spoke
mind?"
to your 10-year-old self.
Yeah,
Ashley, you're gonna be a pole
yeah.
dancer
She would
owner
like. I mean, she'd probably
studio.
be down, but she would be like, "What?"
Yo, what?
You know, like when I was younger, I feel like I was very, I was loud, and I feel like I was outgoing, but I always have like a reserve side as well. Like there's times where I just kind of like sit back and observe, and I think, once I had my kids too, I feel like when you become a parent, that becomes everything, which was like another driving force into like pole, because I'm like, I'm just like a mom.
Yeah.
Like, well, who am I anymore? Like, all I do
Yeah.
is like, make my kids lunch, breakfast, go here, go there. But like, I don't really do anything for myself. So it really helped, with that too. And it's great. I could talk about this all day and night.
But
Like I
as
tell
you
everybody
should,
that,
because
like,
you're
it's,
passionate
yeah,
about it. And
I
that's an
am.
important thing.
I am.
You are not passionate about the bank
Yeah.
at all. You are passionate right
The bank
now.
was fun. Like it was definitely, it was a job and I enjoyed it. I was there a long time, but I had just the cycles of life. Like it just changed, and ultimately, I left the bank because I was pregnant with my daughter, and I was like, I remember when I had my son, and I went back after like 6 weeks, and I missed everything. I'd get phone calls. Oh, he did this, he did that. I'm like, well, that's nice. Like this time, I want to see it. So, I made that decision. Like, and it's like I felt my whole life up until that point. I was so like, I need to know, my bills are paid. I need that stability. I need to know my paycheck. And at that point, I just kind of was like, let go, let God, like I'm going to figure it out. And everything did kind of like fall into place.
Okay.
So that's kind of what jump started that, like me leaving the bank and then kind of making my way to the point I'm at now.
Okay. I gotta ask, love, because it seems like when you spoke about your journey, you've taken a lot of different type of pole classes because they weren't around as much before. So I guess just taking what you
Yeah.
can to
Yeah.
keep yourself active. Because you took so many different type of classes before you started running your own and getting that experience of how people teach it, can you determine what is a great pole dancing class compared to a bad one?
I think a good pole dancing class is one
Like
where
what do you want to look for in a good pole dance class,
I want to feel welcome.
Okay.
I don't want to feel like I kind of just invaded someone's space. I want to feel supported, pushed, but not like yelled at if I'm doing it wrong. And I think everyone has different learning styles. So like there are some students, and sometimes I can be one of them. Like for whatever reason, I'm lazy. I don't want to do this. Like I need that extra kick. There's some people who need that reinforcement. There's others who are like, I pay to come here. Like I'm gonna move at my own pace. So I think just kind of being able to read the room on that and
Yeah.
like navigate that accordingly. I love when I go to like different studios and they're very like, hi, they know they haven't seen me before, because it tells me like, okay, you're paying attention to like who's coming in and out of your space. Even if you don't know everybody, you know that you've never met me before. Like you're aware of your surroundings. And I just love when I feel like I'm included and I'm not like there was like a circle and then there's just like me on the side.
It wasn't clicky.
Yeah.
Okay, and I
Yeah.
get that because you don't want like, especially like a class and how you were explaining it. It sounds like there's a lot of like empowerment going.
Yeah.
So it's like I could see like if you want to feel that feeling of empowerment, you can't be
Yeah.
clicky.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Positivity is a big one, because I think
Yeah.
I mean pole, again, it's got a lot of there's a lot of layers to it, but I think majority, people like to go because they want to progress, they want strength. And then people want to go because they want to feel good. They want to feel pretty, they want to feel sexy, whatever it is. Like they want to feel something. People want to feel.
Yeah.
And if a class can do that for me, that's a good class. I don't care if I went in and like we worked on moves that I've already learned.
Yeah.
As long as like it gets me to like feel something and I feel like, like welcome here and the instructor like cares and like I feel that warmness, that
Yeah.
to me is like a good class.
Okay. Have you ever taken a class that you wanted to walk out of?
I don't think I have.
Okay.
I mean, I've taken classes that like halfway through, I'm like, I don't know if I'll come back, but not necessarily like wanted to walk out of. Maybe just realized like not really my vibe.
Yeah.
But none that I've really wanted to walk out of. I have heard stories though.
Okay.
I've heard a lot.
Like
and
what?
I've just heard stories of like just the way I guess instructors teach or explain things, or other people in the class. Like I've just heard some stories where people don't feel like they're getting what they needed from it, and they're like, I'd never go back. And it's like, it's unfortunate because it could have been like a one-off thing. So I guess from like the instructor standpoint, you know, I can also understand, like, I'm human. I have my days where I'm not like my best self. And I think, you know, it's not, that might just be the day you have someone that you've never had before, you know? But I haven't really, I don't think I've ever wanted to like walk out of a class. Because honestly, if I felt that way, I would have.
Okay, fair. We do have a question, love, is what's next for CLAQ House?
So currently this year, the focus, we're doing our first retreat in Miami, which I'm super excited about.
Yeah.
We have some guest instructors from around the way, and including one of our own. So I'm really excited about that. This is new. It's something I've wanted to do. Years ago, when I was teaching, I would always say, like, I want to open a studio one day in Florida. It was kind of like a long-term pipe dream that I kind of was just saying. And then it was kind of like the term CLAQ came from my love for heel clacks. And I'm like, then it came from like a shoe line. Like I kind of was just going like different avenues, and like what would look cool on a shoebox. And it just it just happened, honestly. And I'm so glad it did, but I found my way, like, you know what? This retreat is a way to kind of tie in the Florida idea like I always had. So that's my first focus. That's my focus for 2026. I would love to see CLAQ continue to grow and expand. You know, I think it'll be 2 years next month, the 26th. Yeah. And it went fast. And like we have, you know, we started from, you know, half class full to now like classes packed out. And I think it's going really well. And I think if we can keep reaching more people and, you know, empowering more people, like I'd feel happy. Like I'm serving my purpose here.
Okay. I love it. I love it. So I do want to ask, love, when is this retreat happening?
June 3rd to June 8th.
June 3rd to June 8th. And how can people sign up to this?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have a little about the retreat. It's going to be, we have guest instructors. So for anyone who's watching that knows pole fitness, we have Dalton Rhodes, who, if you know me, love him. Nadia Nirvana, who is another personal favorite of mine. She's great. I think I found her like on Instagram, maybe during COVID. She's great.
Okay.
And then we have one of our own instructors, Stephanie, who actually moved here from Spain. I think it was last year, and she's amazing and just like blowing up. She's they're really great. So it's a really great group. All three kind of bring a little bit of like different styles, however, all kind of tied together.
Okay.
And it is open to like all, you know, pole dancers or anyone who's, you know, getting into pole dance. It's in June. So if you're worried like, it's not for me. No, it is. You can definitely sign up. And we're going to do, we're going to have like group lunch. We're going to do a boat tour. There's a pole on the boat. So that's going to be super fun. Yeah. We're going to do classes. We're collaborating with a studio in Miami. So we're going to use their space.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. So I've done a few retreats, and I feel like that's kind of how I learned my style and what I liked.
Yeah.
I had went to Mexico, Miami,
Oh,
Paris was a pole retreat. So I like to go around and learn from different people because it's different everywhere. And I think it's beneficial too because it's nice, like for me as a mom, like I'm able to get away, have fun, meet new people who like-minded people who like what I like.
Well, it's your community.
Exactly.
You know, so I love that.
And it's like I have friends who don't do pole, but like I don't know what to talk to you about.
I'm crying.
I'm just like pole.
Yeah. Najee,
So, like, we talk,
you want to go to a retreat?
Yeah, you want to go to Miami?
Yeah, Najee's coming. Najee's coming, yo. Najee's
it's
coming.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun. And it's like, you know, you meet people from all over.
Yeah.
And when I went to Paris in May.
Okay.
I actually met like a fellow studio owner in California. I also met someone from New York who like New York is right here, but like I may have not otherwise run into. So it's nice because you meet all kinds of people. And from an owner's perspective, like I wanted to network too. So I was able to meet like instructors from Australia and like just all around.
What was this really retreat called in Paris?
It was called, I think it was called Art of Slink.
Art of Slink?
I'm not positive. Yeah. Okay. I forget the name, but it was really good. And I rented a stage pole and I did a photo shoot in front of the Eiffel Tower at 7 a.m.
Sick.
Yeah. It was like 50 something degrees. And it was so funny because I'd never been there before. But I got in touch with the photographer. He knew somebody. They got the stage pole and they said, let's go early because that area, like you can do it, but you know, there's high traffic when you get more in the afternoon. So I went at 7 a.m. and it was still packed. And like there's me on the pole and then there's like a couple doing like their engagement photos and then like a family doing, it was so funny.
In my head I was like, imagine you see that judgmental lady that judged you the first time a long time ago. Right? She's there watching you with a pole in Paris.
In Paris though?
Pole in Paris. That's wild.
Yeah. They're more like, I don't know, it was like more like accepted there. Yeah. Like, nobody really, there was some people, like I remember a couple, they like hopped on the pole and like took a few photos and stuff. But nobody was really fazed by it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I kind of like this.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really fun. So it's nice to just kind of branch out, meet new people. Outside of the U.S., I feel like pole is taken to like a little more, like as the art, and it's a little more respected in that field.
Yeah.
In that aspect. So it's nice to, you know, learn their styles too, because like I see these videos sometimes of like kids in other countries doing pole and they're doing things that I'll never be able to do, even if I practice like 24/7. And I'm just like, I wish that was me at 8. So it's nice because it's definitely different styles and it's more challenging. But yeah, the retreat, it offers like access to maybe instructors that you might not otherwise normally train with. And also a chance to kind of develop a new set of like, you know, connections, friends, things like that. So I'm really excited.
Okay, love. Our time is pretty much here.
Okay.
However, I do want to ask you one more question. This is a question that I ask all my guests.
Okay.
So we're going to pretend this is a Black American Express no limit type of card. So I'm going to pass you this card, love. And we're going to have fun with this. This is like a Cinderella type of vibe. Okay. You get 24 hours with that card. However, the minute it goes past 11:59 p.m., any second over, everything is not everything you got, but the card is gone.
Okay.
You want to be mindful because it is 24 hours. If you're using it to travel somewhere, be mindful of like how many hours it is going to be to take you there and how many hours to get back.
Yeah.
So if somewhere takes you 6 hours, it's going to take 6 hours back. That's 12 hours of your 24-hour spending. So just be mindful.
Okay.
Full autonomy. The world's your oyster. You know, what does this look like?
Oh, man. Well, as far as trips go, I would just book my tickets out in advance. My tickets are still valid after midnight? All right, so I'd book them in advance. I'm not flying that day.
Okay.
I definitely would. I'd probably spend a lot investing into the studio.
Okay.
I mean, it's new, so I wouldn't necessarily say upgrades, but like investing in like equipment and things like that for future endeavors.
Okay.
I definitely do a lot for my kids, which I already do, but they think I have.
Just do more.
They think I already have this card.
Yeah, I'm crying.
And probably just like I'd spoil myself. Okay. And I'd try to spoil probably as many of my clients at the studio as possible because I really owe like. I'm forever like indebted to them for helping me build this. You know, this was just a dream that, you know, maybe this will work. And it worked thanks to everyone who like shows up all the time. So I give back when and if I can. And that's ties into like the whole feeling like I have a place to go when I have nowhere to go. I like when people feel, you know, when someone leaves the studio and they're like, I had a woman one time, she was in her mid-50s, and she said, I haven't felt so beautiful. She was like in tears. She's like, and I can't tell you how long. And it's like, that's the part that I love about this.
Yeah.
Like, pole is fun. I love doing all this stuff, but it's like the reaching people and getting people to feel things. So however I can give back, it would definitely be pole related.
Okay.
And I'd book trips.
Okay. Any collaborations? People you would reach out to work with?
For future projects?
Yeah.
With my card.
Mm-hmm. You could book anybody with that card.
Yeah. You know what?
Like, is there a specific, maybe
No,
like pole dancer out there that you've always wanted to collaborate?
I reach out now with my blue Amex. So
Okay,
I'm
period.
like I'm always gonna shoot my shot in that aspect.
Okay.
We actually, so I'm working right now to try. There's a pole dancer that I love. Have loved her for years. I'm not going to say her name because I'm behind the scenes talking with her to try and get her at the studio in a couple months. So like she would definitely be one, but like I said, like I will reach out. I'm always open to hearing it, and financially, like if I can make it work, I will. So there's a few for sure.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Like Dalton's my number one, and I've had him come so many times,
That's
and I
okay.
always would. I love him. I have to think. There's so many good ones. But I would definitely get some guest instructors in. That's one thing I really like to do with the studio too. Like our instructors are great. I love them. And I like to bring in just different styles from, people out of state, wherever, if we can.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It would go to good use.
All right. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. Ashley's 24 hours Mina Mendoza car out here. All right, I'm crying. Some person was like, hella heels. Like, hella heels.
I had to stop following Hella Heels because they're draining my account.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
All right, friends. Ashley, I want to thank you for being great guest today. Thank you for coming by the show. You're always welcome. I definitely got to make my way back into that studio again.
Yes, we got to do another class.
We do. I just want to say thank you, love. I feel like you have been an amazing guest. Welcome back anytime. Everybody who connected with us on the check-in, the chat-in, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Mina Mendoza Show. Also, if you guys are open to network, collaborate, the DM is right there. Send me a message. I just want to say thank you for the support. Thank you for the love. All that, Mina Mendoza, we go live every Thursday. We are consistent. But again, the flowers are to Ashley for being a great guest.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. All right, friends. So this is all I got for you today. It's Mina Mendoza, little girl, big personality, queen of spice. We out of here. Ew. Let's go.